In the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, recent developments underscore the persistence of hostilities and the evolving strategies employed by both sides. On May 21, 2025, Ukrainian forces launched a drone attack against a Russian warplane and missile parts manufacturing facility, marking a significant escalation in the type of military engagements being reported. This strategic move appears to be a response to previous Russian offensives aimed at crippling Ukraine's military capabilities. The attack on the plant located in eastern Ukraine is indicative of Ukraine's increasing reliance on drone technology to target critical infrastructure. By striking at the heart of Russia's military production, Ukraine aims not only to disrupt supply lines but also to send a clear message about its resolve to defend its sovereignty. "We are committed to utilizing every resource at our disposal to ensure our defense and protect our citizens," a Ukrainian military spokesperson stated, emphasizing the importance of such operations in the larger context of the war. The drone attack comes amid fluctuating dynamics on the battlefield, where both Ukraine and Russia are engaged in a war of attrition. According to the Institute for the Study of War, Russia has been working to consolidate its territorial gains while simultaneously launching aerial assaults on Ukrainian cities. As of May 20, reports suggest that Russian forces have intensified their operations, leading to heightened casualties and further displacement of civilians. The ongoing conflict has already resulted in significant humanitarian crises, with millions displaced and countless more facing dire living conditions. In a related development, discussions surrounding a potential ceasefire have gained traction, particularly in light of the mounting international pressure for negotiations. Recent conversations between U.S. officials and representatives from both Ukraine and Russia hint at a possible diplomatic breakthrough. According to sources familiar with the talks, U.S. diplomats are advocating for a balanced approach that addresses the security concerns of both nations. Dialogue is essential, but it must be accompanied by a genuine commitment to peace, an anonymous U.S. official remarked, highlighting the complexities of the situation. Despite these diplomatic overtures, analysts remain skeptical about the prospects of a ceasefire. The prevailing sentiment is that while both sides may be open to negotiations, the underlying distrust and differing objectives make a lasting resolution difficult to achieve. A recent analysis from War on the Rocks noted that Russia, despite facing setbacks, maintains the economic and military resources necessary to sustain its operations in Ukraine. Russia can afford to take a beating, the report concluded, suggesting that the Kremlin's strategic calculus may not be swayed by current military outcomes. As the conflict continues to unfold, the implications for regional stability and international relations remain profound. The situation in Ukraine is not only a test of military capabilities but also a reflection of geopolitical tensions that resonate far beyond its borders. With the potential for further escalations and the complexities of diplomatic negotiations, the path ahead is fraught with uncertainty. Looking forward, the international community will be closely monitoring developments in Ukraine, particularly the outcomes of diplomatic engagements and military strategies employed by both sides. The resilience and adaptability of Ukrainian forces, coupled with continued international support, will be crucial as the conflict progresses. As the world watches, the stakes remain high and the potential for both escalation and resolution hangs in the balance. Eye on the latest developments surrounding the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. A series of drone attacks have escalated tensions significantly. On May 21, 2025, Ukrainian forces launched a targeted drone strike against a Russian defense industry facility, specifically focusing on a plant responsible for manufacturing warplanes and missile components. This attack comes on the heels of a broader offensive involving over 150 drones aimed at multiple targets within Russia, indicating a strategic shift in Ukraine's military approach. Reports indicate that Ukrainian air defenses successfully intercepted 63 out of 76 drones launched by Russia in a prior assault. This high interception rate underscores the effectiveness of Ukraine's air defense systems, which have been bolstered by Western military support. The Ukrainian military stated our capabilities to counter aerial threats have improved significantly. highlighting the importance of these technologies in mitigating the impact of enemy drone strikes. The drone strike on the Russian plant signifies not just a tactical maneuver but also a psychological operation aimed at undermining Russian morale and demonstrating Ukraine's operational reach. Analysts suggest that this could be a pivotal moment in the conflict, allowing Ukraine to assert greater control over the airspace and disrupt Russian supply chains critical to their military operations. These targeted strikes could lead to a decisive advantage if they continue to degrade Russia's military infrastructure, said military strategist Dr. Ivan Petrov. Simultaneously, political developments complicate this situation further. Reports surfaced indicating that former U.S. President Donald Trump halted additional sanctions against Russia following a 2-hour conversation with President Vladimir Putin. This decision has raised concerns among Ukrainian officials and allies in the West, who fear it may embolden Russian aggression. The contrast between military actions on the ground and political maneuvers in the international arena highlights the multifaceted nature of the conflict. As both sides brace for potential retaliatory actions, the implications of these events are profound. The drone strikes not only represent a tactical evolution in warfare but also reflect the shifting dynamics of international relations. With the war now entering its 1181st day, the increasing reliance on drone warfare could redefine military strategies moving forward. Looking ahead, the conflict appears poised to escalate, with Ukraine likely to continue leveraging its drone capabilities to disrupt Russian operations. Meanwhile, the geopolitical landscape remains fragile as the interplay of military tactics and international diplomacy will significantly influence the conflict's trajectory. Observers will be closely monitoring how these developments unfold in the coming weeks, particularly in light of any potential changes in foreign policy from key global players. In a significant development marking the ongoing tensions in Eastern Europe, Russian President Vladimir Putin made his first visit to the Kursk region on May 21, 2025, following claims by Russia that it has successfully recaptured the area from Ukrainian forces. This visit is not merely ceremonial. It underscores the shifting dynamics in the region as the conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues to evolve. Putin's arrival in Kursk coincides with heightened military activities and strategic maneuvers in the vicinity. According to Kremlin sources, the visit aimed to bolster morale among Russian troops and civilians, highlighting the government's narrative of success in the ongoing conflict. "We have reclaimed our land and we stand united against external threats," Putin remarked during a public address, reinforcing the message that Russia is firmly committed to its territorial integrity. The Kursk region has been a focal point in the conflict given its proximity to Ukraine and its strategic importance. Analysts suggest that Putin's visit serves multiple purposes. It is a show of strength to both domestic and international audiences. It aims to reassure citizens about the government's capabilities, and it sends a signal to Ukraine and its allies that Russia is resolute in its objectives. This visit also comes at a time when NATO and European leaders are reassessing their strategies in response to Russia's aggressive posturing. With many European countries still grappling with the implications of the conflict, Putin's actions are likely to provoke varied responses. European leaders have expressed concerns about the implications of Russia's military actions, with some labeling it as a direct threat to regional stability. Moreover, the geopolitical ramifications of Putin's visit extend beyond the immediate area. Former U.S. President Donald Trump recently made headlines with a statement distancing himself from the ongoing situation in Ukraine, declaring it "not my problem." This comment has sparked controversy and highlighted the rift in American foreign policy approaches toward Russia, especially as the 2024 presidential elections loom. Trump's remarks, coupled with Putin's assertive actions, could further complicate the West's response to Moscow's maneuvers. The situation remains fluid, with analysts warning that the conflict could escalate further if diplomatic dialogues do not progress. As Putin continues to assert Russia's position within the region, the global community watches closely. The implications of his visit to Kursk could resonate far beyond the borders of Ukraine and Russia, potentially reshaping alliances and strategies in international relations. Looking ahead, the ongoing developments in Kursk and the broader conflict are likely to influence the geopolitical landscape significantly. As both sides prepare for potential escalations, the need for diplomatic engagement becomes increasingly pressing. The world will be watching how these events unfold, particularly as Western powers reconsider their strategies in light of the evolving situation. In a significant development for Ukraine's European integration efforts, President Volodymyr Zelensky engaged in a pivotal conversation with Donald Tusk, the president of the European People's Party and former Prime Minister of Poland. This dialogue, which took place on May 21, 2025, centers around the coordination of steps and the opening of clusters as part of Ukraine's accession talks to the European Union. As the war in Ukraine continues to reshape the geopolitical landscape, the significance of these discussions cannot be overstated. The ongoing conflict has heightened Ukraine's determination to solidify its ties with Europe, and Zelensky's recent communication with Tusk underscores the urgency and importance of these negotiations. Our discussions are focused on ensuring that Ukraine's European aspirations are not only supported but expedited, Zelensky stated, emphasizing the need for a clear roadmap in the accession process. The dialogue also highlighted the critical clusters that need to be addressed, including judiciary reform, economic stability, and anti-corruption initiatives, which are essential for aligning Ukraine with EU standards. Tusk, reflecting on the implications of this partnership, remarked, "The European Union stands firmly with Ukraine, and we recognize the immense challenges ahead. It is imperative that we work together to facilitate a smoother accession process." His comments reflect a growing consensus within European leadership about the necessity of accelerating Ukraine's integration into the EU framework, particularly in light of the ongoing hostilities with Russia. The impact of these talks extends beyond mere diplomacy. They represent a significant shift in EU policy towards a more inclusive approach to membership for nations affected by aggression. With Russia's invasion of Ukraine serving as a stark reminder of regional instability, the EU's willingness to deepen ties with Ukraine may also serve as a strategic countermeasure to Russian influence in Eastern Europe. By reinforcing Ukraine's aspirations, the EU is not only committing to a partnership but also addressing broader security concerns across the continent. Furthermore, these discussions come at a time when public sentiment in both Ukraine and EU member states increasingly supports the idea of Ukraine joining the EU. Recent polls indicate that a majority of Ukrainians view EU membership as a path to stability and prosperity, while many European citizens believe that welcoming Ukraine into the fold would strengthen the Union's collective security. As the dialogue continues, both Zelensky and Tusk have signaled their commitment to maintaining momentum in the accession talks. The next steps will involve a series of high-level meetings aimed at refining the accession timeline and addressing the specific reforms required by the EU. Looking ahead, the coordination of efforts between Ukraine and the EU will be crucial in navigating the complexities of membership talks. Future developments in this arena will likely set the tone for Ukraine's post-war recovery and its alignment with European norms and values. The outcome of these negotiations could not only reshape Ukraine's future but also redefine the geopolitical dynamics of Europe in the years to come.